Hi, I'm Christy Rost. The tradition of afternoon tea has been enjoyed since the 1840s, primarily due to the Duchess of Bedford of England. Because dinner was served very late, it was her habit to enjoy tea and a light snack until dinner was served. Today, afternoon tea provides a beloved interlude to relax with family, catch up with friends, celebrate special occasions, and even conduct business. Welcome to At Home with Christy Rost. My favorite part of afternoon tea, hands down, are the scones. So today I'm going to make you Irish scones. I have 3.5 cups of flour. I'm adding in 1/3 cup of sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. Just whisk this together a little bit to mix all of those. And I'm making a well in the center. And I set this aside. Oven's ready. Then I have a bowl with 2 eggs. And I'll whisk these together. With 1 cup of buttermilk. You don't want to waste any of this, so get one of these cute little Tavola spatulas. There we go. Whisk that. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla to this, about a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. And put that together. And there we go. Let's set this aside. I'm going back to the flour. Just let that rest for a few minutes. And I have ice cold butter. It's very important when making scones that the butter be ice cold, just like when you make pastry, like pie crusts. And I use what's called a pastry blender. That's this. And I cut the butter in to the flour. You can do this part in a food processor, but honestly, you're going to end up dirtying another piece of equipment. It's easier just to do this with the pastry cutter in the bowl here. And you want to cut them so that they're about pea size. And if it sticks a bit and gets caught, just use another spatula to break it off and bring it back into the flour. And again, this butter is ice cold. That's going to be important because as the scones rise in the oven, those bits of butter help create a really light texture so you don't end up with a brick. I've been enjoying after tea for more years than I can count. Some of my favorites have been in hotels, beautiful hotels, who serve glorious multi-course afternoon teas. And when I travel, especially with my husband Randy, if it's one of those cities where they have a beautiful hotel that's a tradition for them, then I like to do that whenever we can. Now, this fall, I'm privileged to be a celebrity chef with Atlas Ocean Voyages, traveling from Dublin to Lisbon, and we are going to go in several days early. And afternoon tea in a hotel in Killarney is on my list, my to-do list, because I want to see what their scones are like and how they do their tea. But I also love going into little shops, little tea shops. having afternoon tea that way. And it's, it's much more relaxed, a little more casual, and I like that a lot too. So I'm going to add in my raisins and mix these together. Sometimes your hands are just the best tool of all. And then all at once, in goes the buttermilk and the egg mixture. Grab the spatula and clean this out so I get all of this. Now, if it's a particularly dry day, you may find you'll need just a little more of the buttermilk, and so I keep some handy just in case. Now, to mix this, rather than mixing like this, I'm going to bring the flour into the buttermilk mixture inside, and that's in the center. That's why I made that well. Bring this around to form the dough. Once you've got it all incorporated there, and then go ahead and bring it through so that everything gets moistened. Now be careful about adding too much buttermilk. If you say, it feels dry to me, I think I need more, give it a chance to make sure. And if you do add more buttermilk, just about a tablespoon at a time. See how this feels. Oh yeah, it's nice and moist. This is going to be good. Okay, what I'm doing is making sure I have all of the flour off the bottom because it has that precious butter in there too. Move this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this board and knead this directly on the counter. So I'll be back in just a moment.
Experience an immersive culinary adventure with Atlas Ocean Voyages. Led by seasoned experts, savor regional flavors and exclusive culinary moments. Discover captivating destinations and authentic traditions aboard elegant, all-inclusive yachts hosting fewer than 200 guests. Atlas Ocean Voyages, where every Epicurean adventure is a feast for the senses.
Okay, so this is the fun part. Messy, but fun. So I'm making sure I have all of the flour at the bottom. I have a little bit that didn't get incorporated, so I'm just putting that in there now and turn it out onto a floured counter. I find it easier than using a board. It's easier to clean. I like the way the bread releases from the countertop as opposed to on a board. That's just me. Now, scrape all this out so that we don't miss any of this beautiful dough. Alrighty. So be sure you have plenty of flour for your hands and for the board if you need it. And rather than need, be gentle, be gentle. Just bring the dough in like this and turn it. And bring it in again, right to the center, like this. And be sure to just keep adding a little flour to your hands. Check the counter. If it starts to stick too much, then add some flour to it. Go. Beautiful. See how it's all coming together, and it doesn't take very long. This is really a good way to begin making type breads other than quick breads that you just mix and dump in a pan, is making something like scones. And being very gentle with this. Got all that nice cold butter in here. And the dough still feels cold because I have been working quickly. Okay, let's see what it looks like here. Oh, nice. See, it's nice and smooth. You can see all the raisins in there. Now I'm going to use my rolling pin and roll this out to 3/4 inch thickness. And I actually have my ruler. I want to make sure that I'm not rolling them out too thin because I want them nice and tall so they go in the oven. If you need just a little more flour, do that. I have this sock on mine from my pastry cloth set. Let's check and see. So 3/4 inch, that's what it is right there, 3/4 inch. So I have the perfect thickness. I'm going to dip my biscuit cutter. This is 2.5 inch biscuit cutter. Dip it in and try not to twist it as you're cutting. Don't dip and twist. And I'm placing these on a greased cookie sheet. Be sure to put flour on it every time. Cut again. If it doesn't come out, then just cut one more time. There we go. And again. And you're just going to do this for all the dough. And move that away. There we go. And one of the things I've found that is common is some bakers, some cooks, home bakers, will add so much flour to the scone that they end up with something that's very dry. This is very, very moist still, which is why it's all over my fingers. And make sure you have enough room between them because boy, are they gonna puff up. Okay, I will re-roll the scraps and roll it out again and then continue to cut the rest. So I'll be back in a minute and then we'll go ahead and get them ready for the oven. Developed over 20 years ago through classic breeding at Washington State University's Tree Fruit Program, the Cosmic Crisp apple is known for its perfectly balanced flavor, remarkable texture, juiciness, and striking color. These qualities make the Cosmic Crisp apple ideal for a versatile range of uses, from snacking and baking to cocktails, juicing, decor, and more. Available nationwide at grocery stores in all seasons, the Cosmic Crisp apple is now one of the nation's best-selling apples. Cosmic Crisp is hands down my favorite apple, and I'm honored to have Cosmic Crisp as a returning sponsor of At Home with Christy Rost. So now that I have all the scones cut out, I took an egg and just whisked it with a fork to create an egg wash, and brush the top of each scone with the egg wash. Don't worry about the sides, it's the top you're concerned about for that, and that will make them kind of a beautiful glisten on top and nice and round, a little bit shiny, beautiful. It's the same thing I do on top of a pie crust. Off to the oven. So here we go to the oven with the scones. It's at 375 degrees. And I'm going to bake these for about 18 to 19 minutes. The tops will be golden brown, a little bit shiny, and they will have just puffed up something beautiful. This recipe needs no recipe. These are tea sandwiches, cucumber tea sandwiches and egg salad tea sandwiches. Nothing hard about that, but the reason I'm doing them is because next to scones, they're my favorite part of afternoon tea, even more so than dessert. So I have some white bread here, which I don't typically buy, but for tea sandwiches, that is tradition. And I'm buttering one side of each of these. So I took bread, let me move this for you. I took bread and cut the crusts off. Do your first one and then use it as a template so they're all the same size. So no matter where I go to afternoon tea, whether I'm in Dallas or Denver or Victoria, BC, or Dublin, Ireland, or anywhere else, I'm going for the tea sandwiches. So I have thinly sliced cucumber, and I like to just kind of layer them up like here, just like this. Just overlap a little bit, one to the next. And then here's the top, cover that, and this one. And then it's important how you slice it. You can do it like this and have larger tea sandwiches, or you can turn it again and have smaller tea sandwiches. And tea is generally considered a kind of dainty, very civilized, very elegant occasion. So little tiny tea sandwiches just make sense. So I have these. That's white bread. Wheat bread, I have, these are already cut like this. These I will butter just a little bit on one side because I'm going to put the egg salad on this. Put a little dollop of egg salad on each one. It's hard when you're working with something so tiny. There we go. And you put on enough that you get a decent bit of egg salad so it can squish out the sides when you take a bite. Then just flatten this a teeny bit so it stays on. And put some lids on. This one. And this one. And this one. Oh, I have a spare. And then take your knife and tuck in anything that has come out. There we go. And this one, pop that in. Just kind of neaten that up. Here's the next one. Same here. And then the way I'm going to add just a teeny bit on this corner, I see that it kind of missed. The way to keep these fresh, if you'd like to do them in advance, is cover them with a damp paper towel and then cover the whole dish in plastic wrap. And that will keep them moist so that you can make these early in the day and serve your afternoon tea in the afternoon without having these dry. And this one. And we have a complete tray here, and I have 2 for me. So there you go. You can't get any simpler than that, but those are 2 of my favorites, the Irish scones and the tea sandwiches. We'll be right back. The third thing I love about afternoon tea, besides the scones and the tea sandwiches, is dessert. But I'm really not fond of heavy desserts. I like something very light and refreshing at the end. So I'm making panna cotta today. I have 1½ teaspoons of unflavored gelatin. I'm going to put that in a little pan here. 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of sugar. A cup of half and half. Half of a cup of heavy cream. And I'm going to heat this over medium-low heat to dissolve the gelatin, dissolve the sugar, and to get this all nice and blended. I'm also going to add in, while this starts to heat, a vanilla bean. So a vanilla bean adds tremendous flavor, but if you don't have one, and they are rather expensive, then use about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of good quality vanilla. Split your vanilla bean down the center. And if it's a little dry, don't worry about it. They are supposed to be nice and moist and supple, but don't worry about it. Just open it up like this, so the seeds inside, because it's full of little tiny seeds, and you can scrape those out with a knife. But if your vanilla bean's dry, just drop it in like that, and then split your other half. I think it works so much better to do it in halves. Open it up and put it in, and you'll get little teeny tiny flakes or flecks of vanilla bean. Heat this, but don't bring it to a boil. Heat it until it's hot and you get lots of little bubbles right around the edges. And then you can remove it from the heat and finish getting the gelatin dissolved. It is important that all of the gelatin be dissolved. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes to heat all the way and for this gelatin to dissolve in here. And we'll be right back. The panna cotta is just about finished. I removed the vanilla beans, and I am going to pour this mixture into a liquid measuring cup. Notice I have it on a surface so that when the hot milk hits, it's not cold underneath the measuring cup. And I'm pouring it through a very fine sieve. And that will capture anything that hasn't dissolved. It will capture big pieces of the vanilla bean. And what will be left will be just beautiful. Very silky smooth. Then I take this. I'm going to make my panna cotta in little tiny individual glasses so that everybody has just the right amount. You want everybody to go, this is so good. But I don't like when people go, oh, this is too much. So I like to use, for afternoon tea, I like to use things that are dainty so that it is enjoyed by everyone without being too much. And I've been doing afternoon teas for years. But one of my favorites was when I had my grandmother Henrietta come to visit in Dallas. And our boys are still pretty young then, and I invited all my friends to come and meet my grandmother. And I had a beautiful afternoon tea, and she talked about it for years. So this makes enough for 7 of these little tiny cups, but you can put it into teacups or whatever you like, whatever you have at home. And then I'm going to put these in the refrigerator and chill them for at least 3 to 4 hours. But I like to do this the day before and just let them chill overnight. I highly recommend that you just put them on a tray and cover the whole thing with a piece of plastic wrap so that they don't develop a little skim on the top. So there we are. I have all my dishes ready to serve you afternoon tea, and I can hardly wait. Today I prepared 3 of my favorites for afternoon tea, and I'm so glad you could join me. First of all, the Irish scones, and I'm going to be in Ireland this fall, and I will certainly be partaking there. Next, the tea sandwiches, cucumber and egg salad tea sandwiches, so delicate and so much a tradition for afternoon tea. And finally, cute little panna cottas, individually sized so it's not too heavy, very festive, and everyone wants to have their own. I also have champagne. What is afternoon tea without bubbly? So today I have the Piatelli Brut Nature sparkling wine. It's elegant, it's delicate, it has bubbles, itty bitty little bubbles that just are non-stop, and it's floral aromas and just truly so festive for an afternoon tea. Thank you so much for joining me today on At Home with Christy Rost, where great food, beautiful wines, and hospitality are a tradition. Today I had the joy of sharing one of my favorite traditions with you, afternoon tea. You'll find today's recipes on my ChristyRost.com website, and I hope you'll visit my Facebook and Instagram pages. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Atlas Ocean Voyages, Cosmic Crisp Apples, Viking Culinary Cookware, Little Bear Honey, and also thanks to our friends at Bean Candle Company, Car Valley Cheese, Melissa's Produce, Piatelli Vineyards, and Tovolo. See you next time.